football. Tell me about that.
As long as I have a ball in my hands, I feel alive. Kind of like how I feel right now.
I'm staying here. I got work to do.
Work? The NFL's not going to draft some dude from a 1AA school in Iowa.
There were other offers. Can't you just...
I called every team in the NFL. No one's interested.
Can I get one of your applications? I promised that I would take care of you and the kids. So that is exactly what I'm going to do.
If this is your dream, don't give up on it.
Second and 8. Farm to put it up.
Football.
Yeah, they didn't pick me.
I pick you.
I pick you too.
Kurt Warner. You got the whole package, kid. The world just needs more time to see it.
He came up with this whole arena concept.
Arena football.
It's like a circus.
People love the circus.
I like the circus.
You pay me per touchdown?
I also pay you to win.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Hey, Kurt.
We've been trying to reach you.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm with the Rams.
This guy's old. Slow as molasses. He's beneath the standard of this franchise.
That's what people said about me when I came here. All those years gave you something others didn't have. Made you ready for this moment.
Kurt Warner out of the Arena League. It's one of those stories that's too good for the movies. It's perfect. This guy here, he was bagging groceries 5 years ago.
Go out there and you show the world what I've known all along. You were born for this.
This is my time. I know who I am, and I know why I'm here.
So how did you guys go about casting the movie? And what made you land on Zachary Levi and Anna Paquin?
Yeah, I mean, Zach Levi is an actor that all of us were very familiar with. Obviously, he plays the character, the title role of Shazam in that movie. There's another one coming out that they're making, but his entire body of work. So we were talking to Zach about doing another movie with us, and the script for American Underdog had come in, and Andy Irwin, the director of the film, was just communicating with Zach and was like, "Hey, dude, I don't know if you're interested in football, but you might want to read the script that we got. It's incredible. It's about Kurt Warner." And Zach knew who Kurt was. And so he read the script that night and texted Andy back. He's like, "Dude, we got to go make a football movie together. It's just that amazing. It's that undeniable." And so for me, I was like, you know what? Zach looks a lot like Kurt. So there was that element to it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, this could work. And they've got a lot of the same temperament, a lot of the same personality types. They're both full of energy. They both have this kind of unquenchable love for people. And it was like, this actually was really good. This really could work.
And the young kid who played Zach in the film, Hayden Zoller, did you guys feel like you struck gold when you found him?
Hayden was a true gift. I can't even believe we found him, to be honest. I mean, you know, when you have, when you're making a movie where one of the leading roles is this kid who is blind, that is like 10 years old, or younger, actually, he was about 8, I think. You're like, how in the world are we going to do this? And so we auditioned some kids that weren't blind or whatnot. It just wasn't the same. And so when our casting director, who did a fantastic job in finding him, presented him to us, we were like, wow, you got to be kidding me. He is incredible. And so this was the first film that Hayden had ever done. Both of his parents are actors, but on set, I mean, you can see it in the movie. He's just got this natural gift about him, how he just seamlessly flows through the scenes in the film. And he is such a sweet kid. I mean, what you see is what you get with Hayden. And what was beautiful was it really was very similar to the real Zach, Zach Warner. The two of them were so much, they look alike, actually, Kurt and Brenda said. And we got a chance recently to be able to have the two of them meet each other for the first time. And that was really special. And so how that happened, a really cute story is, they could hear each other, but they couldn't see each other. And so they met each other by feeling each other's face. with their hands, and that's how they realized what the other one looked like. And it was so precious. It was so cute. But Hayden, what a gift to this cast. Can't wait for people to see him.
So were there things or experiences that Kurt and Brenda went through that you guys wanted to fit into the film, but just simply didn't have enough room for? I mean, because their story does kind of read a little bit like a screenplay. So I got to presume there had to be.
Oh, there was a ton. I mean, there was a lot that we made really difficult decisions on. Some of which you'll see on the DVD. There's a lot of bonus content and scenes that we shot that didn't quite make the final cut of story, like just relationship stories with them that just didn't quite fit of what the narrative is that we were trying to tell. And so, yeah, their story is thick. It's very deep with stories. And you got when you make a movie, you've got to tell a segment. You can't tell the whole thing. You got to kind of tell a segment or a piece of a story because you only have like an hour and a half to 2 hours to tell it. And so it was tough to be able to cut some things out for sure.
Well, you mentioned some of your prior films before, and this movie to me had a slightly different flavor to the previous films. I mean, the faith narrative is ingrained seemingly deeper. Was that a conscious decision or just a natural part of telling Kurt and Brenda's story?
It was a natural part of telling the story. I mean, we were, we wanted to be faithful and true to the story that Kurt and Brenda really were passionate about telling, because it was their life. It wasn't ours. So we didn't say, oh, well, this is what we think it should be. It was always about what we, listening to them and hearing what they wanted to be told.
And it seems like there were so many beautiful moments in the film. Is there one that stands out to you? Maybe something that came off better on film than you all expected?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that was really cool was, we shot this in a pandemic where we really couldn't have extras. And so I think the most extras we had in a day was maybe 100, and that was one day. And so we weren't sure how this was going to look, because when you're shooting the football stuff, you've got to have 60,000 people in the stands cheering and make it not look fake and any of that stuff. And when it finally got put together, I mean, even Kurt said so. He goes, wow, the football in this looks absolutely stunning. And so the design John and Andy Irwin had, the directors of the film, they really wanted to put the audience in the middle of the game, not necessarily have the camera angles from the TV angles up top, but really put the camera on the field so that the audience feels like what it's like to actually be in the game, so they could have Kurt's actual perspective from his point of view. Which is very rare, I think, in football movies. And so the reality of it was so spectacular. The visual effects turned out really spectacular. So it's something that I can't wait for people to see. The last 45 minutes of the movie makes you have this, even though you know what's going to happen, it's this rush of hope of what's going to happen, because you feel like you're a part of it all over again.
And I think you want to see that all over again. I mean, because it was such, like I said, for the people who became fans in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, it's just one of those things where you kind of want to, enjoy that all over again. There's been countless football movies with kind of a spiritual story or undertone within them. I mean, there's We Are Marshall, to your film Woodlawn, Remember the Titans. I mean, what is it about sports that seems to bring about those kinds of stories?
Well, sports is, sports, not every sports story I think deserves to be told, first and foremost, but there are stories that are sports related that are so incredible. And so it's when you see those extraordinary stories, whether it's in sports or something else, and that people overcome adversity and they overcome trials to be able to succeed. And in our case, our design is we want to tell true stories that showcase the power of the gospel. And it just so happens that two of those have been sports related. So it's not like we desire to go make sports movies per se, but we want to showcase the power of the gospel in a true story. And it just so happens that sports is the underlying current. Now, for me, I love sports. I was an athlete in high school. So to be able to tell Kurt Warner's story is a dream come true, to be honest, because he's a person that I really admired when he was living his story out, just because he was so transparent with his faith.
So what is it that you would hope people take away from this film when it premieres Christmas weekend?
Yeah, I hope people are encouraged by this film. I mean, we're coming out of a time where, many people haven't even been to a movie theater in a year and a half to 2 years. And I hope people will come together and gather together as a group, as a community, whether it's through your church, small group, or in your neighborhood or neighbors, and just watch a film that uplifts the human spirit. I mean, that's really what our goal was, to be able to tell this story in a time where people need their spirit to be lifted, to have this rush of hope that even though you're going through trials that are very significant, that there is hope at the end of it, and you should never give up. No matter what the trial is, just don't give up.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on a great film. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downs.
Hey, thanks, David. Have a great day.